Hold on to your seats, guys, as our stimulus roller coaster is on the up and up. This is your fourth stimulus check update and daily news update. The House just passed a new bill that'll open up new avenues for stimulus for us. All the stimulus certainty that we've been hearing from Biden, Pelosi, Sanders, the American people. And get this, 17 Nobel Prize winning economists. That's big, guys. Their plans moving forward, possibly including that fourth stimulus check. And you know we saved the best for last, a brand new bill that'll lead to a brand new eviction moratorium. Fresh, hot stimulus served straight to your screens. I appreciate you guys joining me today. And we've always got the tea for you guys. We've got the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, the US economy, the stock market. Yeah, all your money-making needs right here. So hit the subscribe button and don't forget to ring that notification bell. And I definitely would not say no to the like button either. So I just want to thank you guys for always hitting that like button and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Let's jump in. The House just passed a new bill that would prevent a government shutdown and suspend the debt limit. We know we've been talking about the debt ceiling a lot lately, and I promise it does have a lot to do with stimulus. The bill passed on a party line vote of 220 to 211. As the vote heads to the Senate, where it's going to need 10 Republican votes, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer said, "I hope Republicans will be consistent and will do as they did before, vote to prevent a default and spare the American people from yet another damaging economic crisis right as we're coming." This is not a Democratic debt. It is not a Republican debt. It is our debt. It is the debt of the United States of America. We don't welsh on our debts. We pay our debts. The stopgap bill would fund federal agencies through December 3rd, which would give Congress time to complete work on long-term appropriation bills. The bill also includes $28.6 billion to provide relief following recent natural disasters, including hurricanes, wildfires, and winter storms. Now, this last part's important since this is the reason at least one senator has said that he will likely vote for the debt ceiling bill. I'm talking about Republican Senator John Kennedy, whose home state of Louisiana was hit hard by Hurricane Ida. His exact words, "I want to see what they come up with, but if it's fair, I'll probably vote yes, but reluctantly." We're still waiting for words from Louisiana's other senator, Republican Bill Cassidy. We'll definitely see some major updates here as the week continues. So again, guys, this debt ceiling bill is definitely our ticket to getting more stimulus in that $3.5 trillion stimulus package. Now, repeating Hoyer's words, this is not a Democratic debt. It is not Republican debt. It is our debt. It is the debt of the United States of America. We don't welsh on our debts. We pay our debts. That definitely reminds me of Biden's words when he talked about the third stimulus check.
Will your plan include a new round of stimulus checks to the American people? And if
Yes.
so, for how much?
Well, look, that's a negotiating issue, but it will. Yes, it will. And I think, by the way, I think we owe Bernie Sanders and his Republican colleagues thanks for getting not all the stimulus we looked for, 1,200, but getting 600 done. So I think you're seeing that there is a clear understanding that these issues go beyond any ideology. People are desperately hurting, and the Republicans are hurting as badly as Democrats.
Just so we're clear here, Biden was talking about the third stimulus check when he said it, but the words still ring true today. These issues go beyond any ideology. People are desperately hurting, and the Republicans are hurting as badly as the Democrats. So what do we want, guys? Stimulus. And when do we want it? Now. That's right. Let me hear you down in the comments down below, guys, if you're with me on the stimulus. If enough of us let our voices be heard, maybe our lawmakers will actually finally listen. Democratic leaders are still confident about their prospects for the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. Democratic Caucus Committee Chairman Hakeem Jeffries and Majority Leader Steny Hoyer said that the House will be able to pass a $1.2 trillion infrastructure package, as well as a second social welfare spending bill with a price tag as high as $3.5 trillion. Jeffries told reporters at the Capitol, "Failure is not an option. The votes will be there for both the bipartisan infrastructure agreement and the Build Back Better plan." Hoyer said the same thing. "I expect both of them to pass." Their timeline's definitely going to be tight, as Hoyer said that the House will uphold a promise made to party centrists to bring up the bipartisan infrastructure package on September 27th. Now, that's just a few days away, guys. But like Jeffrey said, days are an eternity in this place, and we are going to get this done. We always do. Same goes for Biden. He is very confident about the whole thing.
I know we still have a long way to go, but I'm confident the Congress will deliver to my desk both the bipartisan physical infrastructure plan and the Build Back Better plan that I have proposed. And I've said many times before, I believe we're at an inflection point in this country. One of those moments where the decisions we're about to make can literally change the trajectory of our nation for years and possibly decades to come. Each inflection point in this nation's history represents a fundamental choice. I believe that America at this moment is facing such a choice. And the choice is this: are we going to continue with an economy where the overwhelming share of the benefits go to big corporations and the very wealthy, or are we going to take this moment right now to set this country on a new path, one that invests in this nation, creates real sustained economic growth, and that benefits everyone, including working people and middle-class folks. That's something we haven't realized in this country for decades. The data is absolutely clear. Over the past 40 years, the wealthy have gotten wealthier, and too many corporations have lost their sense of responsibility to their workers, their communities, and the country. Let's look at the facts. CEOs used to make about 20 times the average worker in the company that they ran. Today, they make more than 350 times what the average worker in their corporation makes. Billionaires have seen their wealth go up by $1.8 trillion. That is, everyone knows a billionaire, the total accumulated wealth beyond the billions they already had has gone up by $1.8 trillion. Simply not fair.
Now, we may see that $3.5 trillion price tag go down as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's latest announcement said. The president and Senate Democrats sent us a budget resolution with a cap of $3.5 trillion. I have promised members that we would not have House members vote for a bill with a higher top line than would be passed by the Senate. Hopefully, that will be at the $3.5 trillion number. We must be prepared for adjustments according to the Byrd Rule and an agreed to number. Translation, they're not sure that they can get the $3.5 trillion with Manchin and the other moderates on board. Instead, Pelosi and Hoyer told Democrats in an early Tuesday caucus meeting that they are negotiating for a number as close as possible to the $3.5 trillion. Now, according to Jeffries, the message was emphasized by both the Speaker, the Majority Leader, and the Majority Whip that we expect, as always, to find the highest common denominator amongst our caucus in partnership with the Senate because failure is not an option. Still, though, they are promising the same stimulus as before, maybe just on a smaller scale. Pelosi's announcement said, we must build back better with initiatives that include the Biden child tax credit, child care, home health care, universal pre-K, free community college, funding for minority-serving institutions, and improvements in Medicare, Medicaid, and the ACA. We must build back better with the important climate initiatives in our House bill. Now, we have to see how they're going to adjust those numbers in our coming updates. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. You definitely do not want to miss a single breaking news update. So why are they so confident that we're actually going to get this done, right? Well, like Biden said, we're at the tipping point here. An overwhelming majority of Americans support the Build Back Better Act. New polling from Navigator Research shows high support for the Build Back Better Act, with support from 66% of Americans, 61% of independents, and 39% of Republicans. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and let our stimulus hero, Bernie Sanders, give you guys a lowdown.
At the heart of, I believe, this is my own opinion, of a lot of this disunity, is the fact that you have demagogues out there who are playing on people's fears. Okay, they're not offering hope. They're trying to divide us up. And that's how these people thrive. Instead of coming up with bringing us together and constructive ideas about how we address the real problems facing society, they are trying to get votes by dividing us up. It is no great secret that in Vermont and all over this country, a whole lot of people literally are giving up on democracy. That's it. They are hurting. They're working longer hours for lower wages. They're seeing factories that they work in go to China or to Mexico. They can't afford health care. They can't afford child care. They're working at minimum wage jobs. And they are saying, does anybody, does the United States government, people supposedly like, do they care about me? Or are they just busy getting campaign contributions from billionaires? And millions of people feel that. I hope very much that if we can pass this legislation, there will be a lot of people who say, you know what, maybe democracy works. And maybe, just maybe, we can have a government that works for all of us and not just the wealthy few.
I definitely think it's about time that we even the odds in favor of working class Americans. But what do you guys think? Am I right? And if you don't believe me, maybe to listen to not just one, not just two, but 17 Nobel Prize winning economists. 17 recipients of the Nobel Prize in Economics signed a letter in support of President Joe Biden's $3.5 trillion Build Back Better package. They even rallied against what Republicans and moderates had said, that the massive human infrastructure bill is far too expensive. Their letter said, while we have different views on the particulars of various economic policies, we believe that key components of this broader agenda are critical, including tax reforms that make our tax system more equitable and that enable our system to raise additional funds required to facilitate necessary public investments and achieve our collective goals. Because this agenda invests in long-term economic capacity and will enhance the ability of more Americans to participate productively in our economy, it will ease long-term inflationary pressures. Their letter also pointed out reversing years years of disinvestment in public goods and addressing the country's long-term needs, including building towards sustainable and inclusive growth and facilitating our clean energy transition, will require more. That's right, guys. They're saying the same things that we are. It's definitely about time for some more major stimulus. And while we're waiting on that, you can check our channel exclusive newsletter for the top 20 proof ways to earn money right now. Millions of people were laid off, entire households collapsed, and children have been left to starve. It's a scary world out there, guys, and we do not want that happening to our YouTube fam. This is why we're giving you guys the must-have guide on the new normal, and most importantly, how you can reinvent yourselves financially in this stage of the game. Check out our pinned comment for your free copy today. A brand new eviction moratorium. That's what Senator Elizabeth Warren and Representative Cori Bush are promising in their new bill just this week. The bill will give the Department of Health and Human Services the unilateral power to impose a federal eviction moratorium in the interest of public health. Remember what happened with the previous eviction moratorium? The Supreme Court said the CDC doesn't have the authority to do it. So now Warren and Bush are giving them the authority. As Bush said in her previous announcement tweet, "I know the pain of coming home to an eviction notice on the door. I refuse to sit by and let millions face eviction after the right-wing Supreme Court blocked the moratorium. At Warren and I are introducing the Keeping Renters Safe Act to reinstate the eviction moratorium." She also said, "An eviction moratorium is the difference between life and death for all of us." So today we are continuing our historic shift in the way that we conduct the people's business in Washington, D.C. Warren quickly followed up with her own thoughts. "We are in a crisis. Millions of people across this country are worried about getting sick. They are worried about your next paycheck. They are worried about trying to catch up financially for weeks or months without a paycheck." I've got to say, guys, Bush is definitely not letting us down here. Just last week, she introduced the Emergency Rental Assistance Program Improvement Act of 2021. Now, through this, you would be able to apply for emergency rental assistance at public spaces, such as schools, libraries, and transit systems. In her words, "As someone who has been evicted and unhoused, I know the trauma these families are facing. This crisis demands compassionate solutions, and I urge my colleagues to consider the humanity of our neighbors who could soon find themselves without a home unless drastic action is taken. Definitely not some stimulus to sleep on." A typical rental assistance program covers 15 months. That's usually 12 months of past due rent plus 3 additional months for a total of no more than $25,000. Now, if you want to know more, do a quick search or a quick Google search on NLIHC ERA. Their website already lists all the programs available in your area. It's easy to use, so you really shouldn't have a problem accessing it. Now, aside from this, we also have Senate Finance Chair Ron Wyden with his DASH bill, or the Decent, Affordable, Safe Housing for All Act, which does include a $15,000 first-time homebuyer tax credit, which is fully refundable and equal to 20% of the purchase price of a home. The bill also creates renters tax credits of up to 110% of the difference between market rent and utilities and 30% of the tenant's income. So a quick example here, let's just say you got a 1-bedroom apartment that's, let's just say $700 plus, let's say $200 for utilities, and let's say you make about $2,500 monthly. Now, crunching the numbers here, that comes out to about a $165 check per month. That's almost $2,000 in stimulus checks for rent and utilities per year. Definitely not bad. Now, aside from that, Wyden's bill also promises housing to everyone experiencing homelessness within 5 years and prioritizing children and families for placement by issuing them a housing choice voucher. Now, there's also Bush's Unhoused Bill of Rights. Bush plans to permanently end the unhoused crisis by 2025. Stimulus highlights here increasing the affordable housing stock, providing universal housing vouchers, and bolstering funding for federal housing programs, shelters, transitional and permanent housing programs, social services, and housing advocates. That's right, guys, all this stimulus is just on the horizon. I just hope that you guys stick with me as we see all of this happen for us in our future updates. And while you're waiting, you can catch up on your favorite stimulus topics through our channel playlist section. Social Security, student loan forgiveness, unemployment, they're all there. Just head right on over there after this video. We covered a lot today. I really hope that we hit your stimulus sweet spot today. With our 4th stimulus check update and daily news update, we covered the House bill that'll open up avenues for stimulus for us and all the stimulus certainty that we've been hearing from Biden, Pelosi, Sanders, the American people, and 17 Nobel Prize winning economists. Their plans moving forward, possibly including that 4th stimulus check. And for our finale, a new bill that'll lead to a brand new eviction moratorium. And we still have loads more where that came from. Definitely catch me in the next update. And as always, thank you guys so much for liking the video. Always a big help. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care and be safe.